Okay, we're joined by Leo Blanchon. How are you, Leo?
Pretty good. Thank you, Regan. And you?
Where are you right now?
Now I'm in Puya Brava, coaching a little bit. And
Yes.
yeah, I'm here for the week.
So doing a bit of skydiving right now. And tunnel?
Uh, yeah, mostly tunnel. We have like a shitty weather, but yeah, like the next week we're gonna skydive. Puya
They've
is
just
open.
had, they've just had the French record tryout weekend there, haven't they?
They did this. They did this weekend. Yesterday, they finished yesterday, but I wasn't there. I was not. I was not doing it.
Okay. And what you doing in the tunnel? Are you coaching team or solo? Or?
Yeah, no, I have a few students. Yeah, solo. I just coach a little bit. Like I have a little group of French people that I coach. I still coach. It's nice.
Okay, good. And where were you before that? Were you in France?
No, I live in Barcelona,
Ah, okay,
so
good.
I'm not far. I come here on the weekends. It's pretty nice.
So the helicopter stuff, this is really exciting. Where are you at with it right now? Where are you currently at with your helicopter flying?
I just missed the practical test.
Yes.
It's a bit the mess because I already had the private license in French. So I have the French license and I'm doing it in Spain.
Yes.
But I wanted to keep my French license. So we jungle between the two federation. And now I'm basically waiting that the French give me the go so I can do the test. But I finished like all the theory, like all the hours. I just need to do the final test.
Yeah. So what is the process for the transfer? Or I mean, do you have to you get both licenses in the end, do you?
No, you can't.
Ah,
So I had two choices. I had either the choice of either the option of changing my French private license to Spanish and then doing the pro in Spain, or keeping it to French and then I need to do the exam by a French examiner.
right.
So normally they're all European, so that's not the problem to find an examiner, but you cannot do the test until the French review everything to say, okay, now you can do the test. So we're waiting right now.
How long is this process taking from the
They
start?
say they say 1 month. Let's see.
Okay.
I'm waiting.
So with the pro rating, what does that lead you to next once you have that?
Uh, I'm doing the ATPL, so I will be able to do any job. Like after it's a bit like everything. Like when you don't have a lot of experience, you start with the job that you find, and the more experience and hours you get, the easiest it become. But for now, yeah, I'm looking a bit everywhere, and yeah, with low experience, there is normally you need to be a bit lucky to find a job, especially with COVID condition.
Yes. Yes. When did it begin for you, the training, the first helicopter license, your first lessons? When did that begin?
So I did the private when I was still working in Milano.
Yeah.
I was like going on my days off in Gap. I did the private in Gap, and I finished in September 2019. And when I moved to Barcelona, there was like in Sabadell a school of helico that was interesting, and I followed with the ATPL. So I started the ATPL in September 2019, and I think the PPL before took me 1 year. Like as I was doing it a bit like between the job, it took me a long time to do the private.
How long had you been thinking about helicopters? When did the idea first start?
Uh, Long time, but it never been really an option financially.
Yeah.
And now, like I arrived to a point where it was possible to do it, so I jumped on the occasion.
Yeah. Yeah. And were you ever tempted with fixed wing PPL or no?
Yeah. I I think I would like to do it, but to like just the private, not the professional, but to travel. Like helicopter is so expensive that it's difficult to take an helico and go 1 week in trip. With a
Yes.
plane, you can, yeah, it's so much cheaper. So it's more affordable. So I'm thinking of doing it like, but yeah, for now I'm finishing the license. Gonna try to find a job, like pay back a bit what I invest, and I will see for the fixed wing.
Good luck with it. Where did your aviation life begin, Leo? Tell me about when you were little and how you got into air sports and flying and skydiving and the rest of it.
I was working in a circus school in the south of France.
Yes.
And I was doing a lot of trampoline and acrobacy. And I was just imagining that skydiving must be like a trampoline jump, but of 1 minute,
Yes.
which is totally false. But I had this idea in mind, and I had some friend living in Gap, so I knew that they were skydiving there. So I just like went there out of nowhere and start jumping, and I never stopped since.
I need to go back and find out about the circus now because I wasn't aware of that. How did the circus life begin?
So I stopped there when I was 15, I think.
Yeah.
Like I was working, like in France there is something called a service civic, that it's like you pay by the state but you do it in a private enterprise.
Okay.
So I was working there with this format, and I half of my job was to give class to kids, and the other half was to train for myself.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like traditional circus, like, you know, there is like traditional circus, the circus that move between city, and there is a modern circus that it's like more like a gymnastic, you know, it's like a school, you go like an activity,
Yes.
it doesn't move, it's like in a room.
That's really interesting. I was working with some circus performers about 18 months ago in Dubai. I got the job as a ringmaster. And so we had some Russian gymnast girls and we had some guys, and I can't remember the technical name. There were two of them where one flips the other one up and catches him. It's got a certain name in circus.
Acrobacy.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Which was incredible to see. And they were professional, full-time doing this, going around the world. Really, really intense stuff.
Yeah, there is some insane stuff. There is some insane stuff in the circus. It's nice.
Were you, before the circus, were you doing gymnastics as a kid?
Not really. I mean, a bit alone. Like I went to there because I was doing some acrobatics with my friend alone.
Yeah.
And I wanted to get better, so that was the closest thing to my home to get better in acrobatics. So I just started with this, but it was like not really nothing related. Or I had a bit like I end up a bit all the time in new stuff. I don't really know why, but I just like take the chance and go.
Yeah. I want to touch a bit on as well on your tunnel career, because, you know, an incredible time, incredible performance, 3 times world champion. I mean, it's been quite a ride for you. How did that all begin?
So I started skydiving in Gap, and I was packing canopy to be able to pay jumps, and I did this 2 years. And from 2011 and 2012, I think. And 2013, I started to work in Belgium, in Charleroi.
Yes.
And in airspace. And yeah, my like career started there. I worked 1 year in airspace. I started competing with Gizmo, my teammate, and then we moved to Emporia to do the team, like the forward team, like with like. So I did my first competition was with Gizmo in America for I think it was Paraclete XP.
Okay.
And then I went to do the Win Games with Raf.
Yes.
We won the Win Games with Raf. I think it was 2014 maybe, or 15. Yeah, I think it was 2014.
Yes.
And then we changed this two-way team that we had with Raf in four-way with Gizmo and Petrak. And that's when we did the first World Championships in Prague that we won, and then Dubai, and after, like, we Gizmo and I stayed in the team. Raf and Petrak was the first time. Then we changed. Raf did something else, so we did it with Omar.
Yeah.
And then the last one was with the new French team that was Matteo and Elliot.
Yes.
So it was like I always been with Gizmo, and it was like amazing years of competing.
Yeah, incredible times, great competitions, really was. But what about now? Do you think competition will still be there for you or not?
Not really. I mean, at the moment in my life, no. Like we stopped competing with Gizmo at the last World Championships. Like it just seems right. It was like the third World Championships. It was in France. All of family was there. Like it's nice to. Normally we always traveling and they don't really see us. So it was nice that the last one was in France. And I'm passionate about this sport more than ever, but it's just like the investment, the personal investment is bigger and bigger, and the reward was the same.
Yes.
And we arrived in a moment in our life where we both wanted something else. We were lucky to be still young and be able to diversify. So we just say, okay, let's stop it now before if we don't do it full on, let's not do it, basically.
It's hard right now with COVID. I mean, there's been no competitions for so long in the tunnel.
Yeah. Like when I stopped, I was like I knew what I wanted to do, but I had this little voice in my head saying me like, fuck, maybe I stop at the wrong time where it's gonna, because it's getting bigger and bigger. So I was like, maybe I should have kept. But with the COVID and stuff, like I did the right choice to diversify. I mean, I still fly a lot and coach a lot and skydive a lot, but competition was between the training, the travel, and it's like in time and in money, it's a lot of investment. So yeah, I'm happy to just fly and watch the other competing. It's amazing.
Back to the helicopters then. I'm really interested to hear about your first time in there with the collective and everything. How was it? Did it seem natural or was it weird? How was it?
It seems so it seems fucked up. I was like, how come it's not easier than this? You know, it's like I play, like when you play video game or you pilot drones, it's so easy, you know. And helicopter, it's like, except the big that have autopilot, it's like you drop the command, you crash, you know, it doesn't fly. A plane just fly and you change the angle, but you drop it flies, you know. Helicopter is you're always fighting to maintain it. And my first reaction was like, it's amazing, but how come they didn't manage to make it easier, you know? It's like you go forward, like you're tilting your disc, so you're losing lift.
Yeah.
So to compensate this, you put the collective up, but because you put the collective up, you add some torque, so you need to compensate with the feet. So it's like every movement you do, you compensate with everything. And I was like, fuck. But at the end, like I related a lot to a canopy landing.
Really?
Yeah. Like so you land, you flare, and then you pull with the collective, you change the pitch of the blade.
Yes.
And for me, it's a bit like back riser and toggle, you know?
Right.
So it's like you do your approach. I mean, of course, it's not the same angle, but it's like you flare, and when you at the end of the flare, you put the collective up, and yeah, it's a bit similar. Like an auto rotation. So when you don't have the engine, is a canopy landing.
Right.
And when you have the engine, it would be like if you had unlimited power in your toggle, you wouldn't do the flare so fast, you would start pretty higher and go like slowly. So this is a bit, but yeah, between the belly flying and the canopy landing, there is a lot of similarity in skydiving.
Interesting. And I would have thought drone flying would have had a big crossover. Like, not at all. No.
At the moment, no.
No.
At the moment, no. But I don't know. The problem of drone right now is that they don't have like an helicopter without engine. It's flying.
Yeah.
It's like aerodynamic, like a gyrocopter. Like
Well,
it's still flying. A drone, it doesn't have an emergency. So now they do drone that if one engine cut, the tree can maintain. But still, like if you have engine fail or whatever, like you die. I mean, so I think that's also what's slow down the drone stuff. I don't know if they could make it safe, like with a parachute, or I don't know. But
it seems all the time there's reports about, we're so close to the first passenger drones. This company, that company, and we report on them a lot all over the world where they're about to become the drone taxis. But we don't really think it's quite there yet, no?
I mean, it's going to come at some point, I hope.
Yeah.
But I don't like, first of all, I don't think it would swoop up the helicopter, because of multiple reasons. And if it does, the closer of a drone pilot will be helicopter pilot. So I don't think I asked myself this. I was like, when I do it, like when I was gonna pay it for the course, I was like, fuck, am I doing this for nothing? Is in 5 years like there will be no more helicopter? But I don't think so. Like you see the aviation world, everything takes so much time. The plane, they have the same engine since 50 years because it's a safe engine that never shut down. So it's like they all like in aviation, we all we like 20 years backward of everything else. So it like to certify the stuff, to like, I don't know, it takes a lot of time, everything. There is no like you see the GPS in the plane, like except the new one, but a lot of plane have a GPS that is like the first time you had a GPS in your car, it's garbage. I mean, but because it needs to be certified that it will never shut down, it will never, so it costs a lot. So in aviation, everything is backward. Like the Pilates, every like the Pilates, I don't know, they're all from the 70s. Like it's really old plane. We don't realize because they work just fine, but it's really
I've just upgraded my Pro Track to a Pro Track 2, and that Pro Track is I didn't realize, I did some calculations, I've been jumping it over maybe 24 years. It's never stopped, it's never had a problem. It's an electronic device, it's been in the cold, it's been in the heat, been kicked around in the helmet. But you get an iPhone or a laptop, they don't last 2 years. It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it's the thing also with aviation. It's like when you have for example, the helico I did my training on, it's a French helico, the Cabri. And it's like a new helico. I think you have 10 years, something. It's new, but they put the engine of the old Cessna, an engine that have 50 years. And I was like, why did they put this? And they say this because this engine never failed. So it's better safety, like something old that is safe, than the newest engine that we have no data on it and no experience. So I guess it's also why making flight drone takes so long, because we already saw people flying drones, people flying with drones over them,
Yes.
Like there is already some stuff, but it's just like the time to make it safe and that it's accepted in the safety criteria of aviation is gonna take some time.
How long did it take for you in the helicopter before it started to feel developing some muscle memory? becoming instinctive? How long did that take?
I don't know, 20, 30 hours.
Oh, really?
Like the first solo, yeah, it's about 20 hours, something like this. And yeah, like yeah, 20 hours. The first 10 hours are terrible.
Just
Like,
madness.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, I love to learn, so I love to
Right.
restart from zero always. But still, like at one point, I was like, I just don't get it, you know. But after like, but after it was good.
How's the paperwork or the exam stuff? Is that really difficult, or is it something you can get through?
So the ATPL, so it's a line. It's the same as the pilot on Boeing and an Airbus. So it's quite long, but it was okay. It was also like during confinement, so I had nothing else to do than study.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's hard, it's tough, it's big, like, but still, look, I did it in 1 year and a half. Like, it's not a career in medicine, or you
Right.
know,
Yeah. Yeah.
like, you can do it in 1 year and a half. It's tough, it's big, but it's still okay.
Yeah. What's been the moment for you in helicopters, which has been that one moment which sticks in your mind as being, you know, something that's really touched your soul? Which moment of flying a helicopter is really in there right now?
I mean, there is a couple of flight like that was insane, you know, like because at the beginning you start piloting helicopter, you pilot it like a plane.
Yeah.
From an airport to an airport, and when you start piloting it like an helico, it's crazy. It's like where you want and where you want. It's freedom. Like it's insane.
Yeah.
But last week I started the big one, because I do my final test on the AAS 355. So it's like a you know the 355. It's
No.
a B turbine. It's an equiral B turbine. So it start to be a good helico.
Right.
And yeah, like it's changed everything. It's like if you've been on a bike and you take a huge motor. It was insane.
Fantastic. And where do you want to be with it eventually, Leo? Where do you see your end point with helicopters?
I mean, for now, like I would just be happy to find a job.
Yeah.
But the dream jobs, it's either rescue or like a lot of filming, like stunt filming, or like all these jobs that make you pilot in a way that you cannot pilot if you're not in this job, you know. Yeah, like these are like but this is job they give you at the end of your career when you're
my age.
Yeah.
Leo, I know you're going to get back to your coaching. It's been fantastic to catch up with you and to see you and have a little chat. Normally we're running past each other and we get to high five and that's it. We never have a conversation like this. So say hello to everybody there, and great to catch up with you, man.
Thank you for everything, Regan, and I hope I see you soon in Ampuria or anywhere.
Take care, man.
See you, man.
Bye-bye.